Hello everyone. Let's continue from our previous discussion of the trigonometric function of any size of angle. So now let's deal with the examples in the quadrant tree. The quadrant tree, if you look at the summary here, it's dealing with the values of angle between 180 degrees until 270 degrees. In terms of the property later, you will see either minus y plus theta or 180 plus theta degrees, depending on the use of the unit. So let's see. If let's say we're dealing with sine 225, what is it actually sine 225? Again, we start from the positive x-axis. This is 90 degrees, 180 degrees, right? So you're going this way. So sine 225 will be somewhere exactly in the middle. Let's say it's somewhere here. So sine 225, in other words, means that you take a point on the circle where you have a rotation of 225, like this. Then you create a right angle triangle, like this. And then you want to know what's the y coordinate for this. What's the y coordinate for this, right? So then how do we deal with this? Similarly, instead of dealing with the 225, we're dealing with the 45 degrees instead, with the unit circle 1 here. So then I want to know what's the value for this, the length, right? So that's the, let's say I'll put it as the h. So instead of dealing with sine 225, I will be dealing with the sine 45 degrees. So now I have, it will be h over 1, or that means basically half root 2, right? So the height will be half root 2. So if you look at this and then you notice, instead of dealing with 180 with the 225, I'm dealing with the 45, which is related to the 180. So similarly, if let's say I'm dealing with the 210 for the case of the cos, so I'll, instead of dealing with the 220, I'll be dealing with this, for example, dealing with only 30 degrees here, and I can create another one. Then I'll be dealing with the cos 30 degrees instead. So by using this pattern, same is true later for tangent, can deal with sine 180 plus 45 degrees. For the cos will be cos, same thing, 180 plus 30 degrees. And then for this tangent, 180 plus 60 degrees. That's why you can see the summary earlier. So I'll use 180 plus in this quadrant. So instead of dealing with the 225, we'll be dealing with the 45. This is with the 30, and this is with the 60. However, since this is in quadrant 3, where the x is negative, the y is negative, which means the cos will be negative, the sine will also be negative. So this will be both negative. But then, of course, because cos and sine both negative, the tangent must be positive. So this will be positive. Then only you apply the value for each of them. Negative half root 2, negative half root 3, and this is square root of 3. Similarly, we can do the same for this. Now we're dealing with quadrant 4. So for example, you take 300 in this case. So same thing, 90, 180, 270. So let's say 30 is over here. So we'll be dealing with this point. Can create a right angle triangle. So this is 30 degrees. This is radius 1. So instead of 300, we'll be dealing with the 60 degrees instead. So you notice now that how do we deal with this will be sine 360 minus 60. So instead of 300, we'll be dealing with the 60 degrees. And then in quadrant 4, the value of x is positive, which means cos is positive, but the value of y will be negative, which means the sine will be negative. And then because of that, the tangent will be also negative. So here, the sine is negative, so it will be negative half root 3. Cos 330 will be the same idea, minus 30. So I got cos 30 degrees instead. So this is half root 3. So last but not least, tangent is 360 minus 45. So I'll be dealing with negative tangent 45 degrees instead, which is negative 1. So these are the basic ideas on how to deal with or finding the value of the trigonometric function for any size of angle. you can deal with similarly idea with, for example, negative, let's say cos negative 30 degrees. So as long as you can get the concept, when it comes to negative, it's opposite, which means clockwise, for example, will be like this, right? So if it's a unit circle, this will be 1. So you'll be dealing with this, this is equivalent to dealing it with the other way around, which is 3 cos 330 degrees. So as long as you go with all these concepts, I believe that it will be fine. So what you may want to do is just you pause the video again, you try to digest it again, and only you try to put it into different practices or values. Hopefully that will help. And then please, 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 please really take note of this, because this is really important. It's a dictionary for you, a reference for you for doing or solving problems related to trigonometry, involving especially equations in the later subtopic. Hopefully that helps. I wish you the best. Please do drop any questions if you wish. Thank you.